Hello, my name's Andy Elliott from HVA Factory, and tonight I'd like to take you through an upgrade to the clutches on Husqvarnas from 1975 through to 1986. This is the 5-spring clutch, regardless of which model. So our clutch kits contain an extra plate, and normally you would start and finish with a fibre plate. That's the conventional route, but the trouble with it is that it wears the clutch hub and it wears the surface of the pressure plate. So what we do on all of our bikes is we skim the pressure plate on the lathe, because I expect the pressure plate in your bike has a ridge on it where the friction plate has worn the surface. Okay, it's very important that that is done. This needs to be completely flat all the way across, so that a plain clutch plate can sit completely flat against its surface. With the clutch hub, this is one that's come fresh out of a bike, and you can see there's some wear on the back surface. Okay, so what I'm going to show you now is a technique we use so that you can use a plain plate directly against that surface to stop wearing the back of the clutch hub. So I'm starting with a 4mm drill, and I'm just going to drill into the corners all the way round on all 30 of the recesses. And then, after doing them all with the 4mm drill, I'm going to do the same with a 5.5mm drill. But now I'm going to straighten the drill up, and I'm trying to remove the 2 corners that are left by the 4mm drill. This will allow the corners of the plain plate to sit into a recess, so that the back of the plate can sit flat against this surface. It's no good if this plate is stood off of the back surface. This plate must be hard up against that surface all the way around. Here's one that I've done, and if I remove the plain plate, so you'll see into the corners we've drilled away, and that this plain plate fits perfectly flush against the back surface. Don't worry that the drill has run slightly into the flutes, okay, because the next plate to go on now is a friction plate, so that covers that. Okay. And the back plate can't go anywhere, obviously that's now a driving plate. And then stack up the clutch in the normal way. Okay, so now we're finishing and starting with plain plates. The key to making this work properly is to make sure that the distance from here to the first plate is probably about 3mm is good, something around 3mm. This one is, I'm guessing, is about 3.5, yeah. And out of choice now, we would replace 2 plain plates with ones that are slightly thicker, which is something that we will be carrying stock as soon as they arrive. So you can tune the height of the clutch assembly to make the distance from this face to this face 3mm. Okay. The reason for that dimension is because there's on a new pressure plate or a pressure plate in good condition, there's a 7mm gap from here to here. Okay, so with the 3mm, that means that will engage, plus it can drive inwards as the clutch wears. Okay, so as the clutch wears, that 7mm gap is used up. Okay, so that's a full stack. So then it's a simple case of adding that to your clutch. There's one other thing that we do, in that sometimes when you put the clutch hub on, sometimes there's play up and down here which is more than 0.5mm. If it's more than 0.5mm, then you can tune this out by using, instead of using the 1mm shim which sits either side of the clutch, you can use a 1.2, 1.4, 1.5mm shim to get rid of some of that play. And the reason for that is that otherwise the push rod is having to lift the whole clutch stack. Okay, and you don't want it to do that. You want it to be separating the plates. You don't want it to be just moving the clutch stack. So this one's got about 0.5mm. For the video, I'm not going to change a shim. So this clutch hub has one plain plate hard against the back, so then it's just a case of stack the plates up, and most people like to drop the friction plates into some oil so that they're well lubricated. Obviously, I'm not going to do that for the demonstration. Okay, so obviously the clutch push rod will be coming out of here with the thrust bearing on it, and then it's a case of fit the pressure plate, putting in all the springs and screws and spacers. We'll cover clutch adjustment in a second video because there are lots of things you need to be aware of in adjusting the clutch, but if you can get the clutch to stack up in that manner, you will save not only the few remaining pressure plates and the clutch hubs which are becoming hard to find, you'll save yourself a lot of problems getting the clutch to clear. That's it.